All right, everyone, welcome back to this daily Sidereal Astrology forecast. So this is for Wednesday, September 27th, 2017. And yes, this is for Sidereal. If you are new to the channel, definitely check out the link down below because the signs are different. All right, so today a lot going on astrologically. I do recommend watching the weekly forecast if you haven't yet, which will give you a good clue in terms of what's taking place for you personally. But for all of us collectively, we've got Jupiter opposite up to Uranus going exact here this evening going into tomorrow, suggesting perhaps some changes along our life journey. And that could have been in place since December of last year, December 26th. So we'll talk about that, but we also do have Mercury opposite up to Chiron today, suggesting maybe some healing involving matters pertaining to communication or our perspective on things. And Pluto is going station direct tomorrow, but slowing down here today. So there could be some things associated with facing some fears and starting to put some things forward in terms of our life path. So three major aspects or events going on. And while this is going on, the moon is shifting into Sagittarius. So about midday for most of us, we are coming out of the past couple days of perhaps being quite deep, maybe emotional, maybe doing some healing in an emotional sense, and starting to feel a bit more free-spirited, open-minded, okay? And that goes with the whole Jupiter thing of freedom, wanting to expand our life, make some changes, and tap into that adventurous spirit. All right, so let's go and look at all of this in more detail. All right, so let's get a basis first in terms of the lunar placement. So the moon, again, is our feelings, right? Does usually play a very big role in the theme of the day. And so the first half for most of us, still likely a bit deep from that Ophiuchus energy, especially if you were feeling that the past couple days. Still good to be doing some healing through awareness of our wounds, acceptance of our wounds if they do come up. But I think the real noticeable thing about the day will be the moon going over the galactic center, right in between Ophiuchus and Sagittarius, suggesting the transformation process of coming from the deeper and into the more expansive, right? And so that's what Sagittarius is about. Second half of the day, especially going into tomorrow, tapping into a bit of that spirit for life, open-mindedness, and again, adventurous spirit can help us feel good. And our emotions are just kind of wanting that, and there could be a theme pertaining to that. So, of course, the backdrop is with the sun. We still have the sun and recently Mercury in Virgo. So still great to be focused on taking care of things right now, whether it's your work or your routine, gaining energy through that. Our minds are working more in this practical sense right now, in fact, and still great to be enjoying and connecting to our self-expression, a bit of fun. That's been going on with Leo. And yeah, expressing ourselves in direct ways with that Mars. So let's talk about some of these aspects. The most significant being Jupiter opposite up to Uranus. This does look like there's a lot of confluence in the chart. Confluence typically suggests, when there's a lot of things lining up, that it can mean a shift in the collective, right? So shift in, things going on in the world perhaps, but in our own personal life as well, especially if you've got other transits going on. And so these next couple days here, I think a lot of it does pertain to this Jupiter opposite Uranus. So wanting some freedom, right? Uranus is breaking free, revolutionizing our life, right? Making changes that are more an expression of what we're truly about. And Jupiter, of course, expands all that, which really accentuates it. But then Jupiter's also the freedom, but Jupiter's more like that Sagittarius freedom of wanting to expand our horizons, tap into that adventurous spirit. So there's a lot of this freedom type of energy, and because it is an opposition, it is important to stay nice and balanced. We do want to make sure we're not going to either extreme. It's good to break free so long as we're doing it. It's not really breaking free, but making changes for freedom, as long as we're doing it in such a way that it's grounded, steady, one step at a time, responsible, without, flying off the handlebars. So it's that kind of energy where we're wanting that, but we've already been experiencing this since December 26th. So we've already evolved with this. We've already shifted with it. Even in March 2nd, we had the second aspect of it, right? So if there's anything in your life just generally this year that has been invoking this freedom, this could be a solidification of that for you. And again, you will want to see your personal chart, you know, to really confirm that, but there very well could be for a lot of us this, you know, this shift and change. And that goes also with Pluto going station direct tomorrow, which may invoke facing some fears, right? I think the past 6 months, maybe we've been reconsidering some of the things that we are afraid of or that are holding us back. And now as we go into the second half of the week, starting to implement, starting to go into the world of actually facing those fears. And again, I do recommend the weekly because that'll show you which houses this is associated with for you. All right, but that is the collective energy, very powerful. Now, as more of a secondary thing, Mercury opposite up to Chiron today. It does suggest some healing, but not so much in the deep emotional healing of the past couple of days or the first half of today, but healing of maybe some wounds about what we communicate, maybe some wounds about what we said or didn't say, perhaps, excuse me, or your throat's going out and you have to heal that. But yeah, matters pertaining to communication or even your, whatever you're doing on a daily level, right? Doing some healing with that, I think is great. And again, it all comes back to acceptance, just like Ophiuchus, of doing that sort of acceptance of any wounds that do come up. All right, so not major though, not emotional, just more in terms of the day-to-day practical type of stuff. All right, so that is the day generally. Those are the most important things. Now, of course, the moon is forming some aspects, but what's interesting about this is that the moon is forming aspects to these major events. So you can see they're mostly the first half of the day here. The moon will be squaring up to that Mercury opposite Chiron, activating it. Okay, so confirming a lot of what we're saying, but there might be a bit of integration needed with the emotional body. Maybe just feeling like, yeah, maybe we do have to take some action steps to communicate if we're feeling more withdrawn because of the wounding with it, perhaps. Or maybe taking the action steps to do some healing, right? So that's what that suggests, really just activating what we talked about. And then the other one with the moon is the moon is now forming an aspect to that opposition as well, a trine and a sextile to Jupiter and Uranus. So there is this activating feeling, I think, and that goes with the Sagittarius energy of feeling the Jupiter expansion, feeling that Uranus freedom, innovation, progressiveness, in terms of the emotions, right? Because again, the moon is the feelings. So that is the day generally. And then as we get into tomorrow, we do enter into the first quarter phase of the lunar cycle. So it is just an excellent week for initiating, right? Taking action steps. And that really is the case just with the aspects anyways, seeing as how Pluto's going direct. We have this Jupiter opposite up to Uranus, suggesting some sort of final change, cultivation in terms of that freedom, initiating that, and yeah, maybe some healing stuff with communication, the throat chakra, and anything pertaining to our perspective on things. All right, so I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you again for all of your likes, comments, and shares with these videos, and I'll see you all tomorrow for the next daily forecast.